What's up, people? I believe this might be the first Author Platform Rocket Facebook Live that I have done yet. And what's going to be cool is I literally just sent out an email to just under 17,000 authors saying, listen, we're done. I mean, you can totally buy stuff, don't get me wrong, but I'm like done selling. It has been an incredible year. And it was an incredible year last year and the year before. And it's just been going nuts. And before anybody pops into this thing, I think it's important to say thank you. It really is. And the first question, and so basically what's happening here, let me give you a frame for this. The email I sent out was like, what's going on? What's broken in your business? How can I help you fix it? By the way, this is my office. I know this looks crazy that I'm standing like in a bar, but amusingly enough, I literally don't drink any of this crap. I hate it. I think it's some of the most disgusting thing ever. But this is the place in my home where the standing desk works best. So I know you've probably seen a lot of interviews where I've done, there's like all these crazy liquor stuff in the background. But yeah, no, I'm actually a pretty normal guy and not quite the lush that this scenery makes me out to be. But the standing desk works perfectly on the counter and there's no screaming children. It's amazing. So for all of you who work at home, I get it. So the email and the frame. Sent out the email saying, what's troubling you? What's going on? What's broken? Let me help you fix it. And the reason I did that is because I literally just want to be able to help you out. And so as this thing progresses throughout the rest of the year, you know what? I'll be reading off your the stuff that you asked me, probably saying, hey, what's up by name and that kind of thing. So if you want some help with anything, marketing, business, structure, audience, I mean, I've been around a minute, so I can probably give you a little bit of advice. Whether or not it's applicable or right for you, I don't know. But that's kind of what it is. So the big question here, the one that I've been getting a lot from obviously the agency clients and stuff like that, is what's up with this Amazon delayed reporting? Well, there's been rumors that it's getting fixed and it's being fixed and that people have started to see, which is awesome. But here's the thing. Does it hurt you? Does a delay in reporting hurt you? And the answer is it can, if you make snap judgments on this kind of stuff. This is important, okay? So really quickly, as we have people coming onto this thing, which is kind of fun, the question is, does this whole Amazon delayed reporting in the dashboard cause pain and injury? And the answer to this thing is very simply, it depends on how you react to it. Because if you react poorly, meaning you make snap judgments, and I actually received some emails from this because we had done some promotion in the normal book promotion that we're always doing throughout the ecosystems and stuff like that. And the question was, it's like, oh my gosh, it didn't bump the sales, it didn't do anything. It's like, this sucked, I need a refund. Guess what? There's a huge delay in reporting. We don't know what it did, and it lasted more than 15 minutes. So that was just sort of a thing. But if you make snap judgments when you know there's a delay and you're like, oh, I got to kill the ads, you might be literally slashing your throat. So you just kind of have to wait it out. And this is one of those situations where Amazon may or may not do it quickly. It looks like they're finally getting around to it, but it's been over a week, if I'm not mistaken, on how long this is taken and stuff like that. And by the way, hello, the folks watching this. If you want, leave a comment and ask a question, because if you're on the newsletter for any of the author ecosystems, you realize I just sent out this thing. It's like, hey, how can I help you in your business? Rest of the year, no problem. We're doing pure content. I know I sell a ton of stuff. That's just how it is. Listen, I'm a raging capitalist. That's just the way things are. And actually, what's interesting is 2018. I think you're going to like this a lot, because the reason I'm standing here in front of you post gym, I know I like standing in a bar after I just worked out. It's hilarious. But we're going to be doing a lot of these things. You and I talking together about this stuff. And that's all there is to it. This is something that you have to decide how you react to it. In every situation, you have to realize you're in an internet business. All right. You're dealing with technology on a minutely basis. And I used to get all bent out of shape and, get in the forums and everyone would rage about like how the autoresponder service wasn't working. It's going to happen. Listen, it absolutely is going to happen. It's going to happen all the time. In fact, the guy who does my cybersecurity is like, I would love him to death, David. Love you, seriously. But man, if I've ever met a dude who wears a tinfoil hat, it's this guy. And he's not wrong. That's what's funny about this. He's not wrong about it. But it's the same sort of situation. You know, he kind of, you know, harps on lead pages a little bit when I'm like, hey, you need to use lead pages. And the reason why is because if somebody else's service goes down, how does that affect your bottom line? And that's the question that everybody has to answer, because until you own the entirety of your infrastructure, you're always dependent on somebody else to provide a service that brings customers to your books. That's really the only way it is. And that's the way that it works. And so the same thing with this whole Amazon reporting delay. And like I said, hopefully it appears that it's starting to get rolled out and get fixed, and everything is fine now. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that it's going to happen. This isn't the first time. It's most certainly not going to be the last. And the only way you can hurt yourself with this is if you make snap judgments based off of bad information. So if you go in there and you know, okay, 20 minutes ago, everything was going fine. I was spending, you know, $15 and making 30. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. That's essentially like, you want to spend as many of those 15s as you can to get those 30 back. But then all of a sudden, reporting delays, you know, do you cut the ads? What do you do? I can't answer that question. Me personally, I'll write it out and then look at a 7 and 14 day ROI kind of, you know, report and say, okay, what happened while I was blind? You know, what happened while we couldn't see the reaction to the action that we were taking? That's the sort of thing that I would do. And it really is completely within your risk tolerance. You know, if you're not spending a ton of money, so if you're spending less than, say, you know, $10 a day on ads, it's gonna not really. It really, there's no reason to freak out. You know, people who are super data driven oftentimes get all puckered about this, and that's fine. I get it, totally get it. That's the world will not move without data driven people. You might want to just kind of, you know, woosah, because it's a third party. Everything breaks at some point. Everything breaks. And don't get mad. I saw all these, like, it was like super militant kind of things going on in all the author forums. Like, I know I don't post there a lot, but I'm always reading. Trust me, I like to know the sort of the pulse of the land. So that's why I wanted to show up and just deliver this one particular message on this live thing. And hey, what's up? I see people have popped on, popped off, and all sorts of fun things. And it's really interesting that I personally don't do a ton of Facebook Live, yet we sell a ridiculous amount in our ecosystems. It's kind of, so I'm changing that, by the way. So if you were listening earlier, going into the new year, there's going to be a ton of stuff. In fact, right before I decided to make this video, I had laid out the entirety of what is going to be broadcast with this. And it's going to be it's the blending of the psychology and the mechanics behind how I'm running my business. And one of the interesting thing was, and I wrote this number down, it was $1,030,650 in sales over the course of less than 2 years without a web page. And I'm going to be breaking down the psychology behind how that worked and what was going on with that. And so if you want, stick around for those things, because excuse me, it's going to be super crazy. But anyway, like I said, just got out of the gym, decided to pop this thing up. This is actually my office. I know I'm more of a wine and beer guy, but you know, my wife works for the liquor industry, so that's why it looks like this. Anyway, message me. Absolutely. Say what's up. Message the page. And pretty soon we'll be doing a webinar. And going forward, lots of content for you. All right. That's all there is. Talk to you later.